Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2024 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the festival head programmer, and Nina Strike, founder and festival director, in conversation with Ruth Leitman, the director of the film No One Asked You, a film that you can see as part of our 2024 Global Peace Film Festival lineup. To find out information about tickets, venues, and all of our activities, please go to peacefilmfest.org. Keep in mind that our in-person screenings and events begin September the 17th, running through the 22nd. Our virtual programming begins September 23rd, ending on the 29th. And now let's welcome Ruth to talk about this timely and urgent film, No One Asked You. Welcome, Ruth.
Thank you for having me, Kelly and Nina.
Hi, Ruth. It's great to have you. And so to start with, tell us about the film, which is about such a critical issue, particularly, well, every year, but particularly this year.
This is the year, isn't it? And every year since Roe became law in 1973. So No One Asked You follows Liz Winstead, the co-creator of The Daily Show, over a 7-year journey with her organization, Abortion Access Front, through the battleground states in the South and the Midwest, using comedy and gathering of community to help local abortion clinics around the United States, providing aid and comfort to those clinic workers, and to help build community while these places are so at risk. And we started the film in 2016, and we followed them through the overturn of Roe. And it's been an incredible journey using comedy as a tool for activism.
And Ruth, you mentioned in describing the film why it's so important in terms of what's going on today. But why was it important for you personally to take on this 7-year journey?
Well, it was really important for me personally because I had an abortion, 2 of them, when I was a teenager. And it was that experience in my life that enabled me to become a filmmaker and a photographer, because I was escaping an abusive relationship, and that was very close to Liz's story and the story of so many people that an unwanted pregnancy reveals often a very tumultuous home life. And so it was really important for me. And in 2016, when Trump was elected, we knew that things were going to get a lot worse and a lot for many issues, and certainly around reproductive access and bodily autonomy. And so it was as simple as the night of the election, I'm watching television and I see Liz on MSNBC, as she often was, trying to make sense out of the things that made no sense, and how we were going to carry on and destigmatize abortion during this time, and to be able to help continue to fight the fight. And we were fortunate that Liz and her team were planning the Vaginal Mystery Tour, which took us through all of the battleground states in the South and the Midwest. And that was in 2017. We planned to follow that for about a year. And originally, we were actually looking at this project as a series. So we showed 2 early episodes of this in 2018 at Doc NYC. And it became really clear that at that moment, Doc NYC happens right after the election. We saw all of those ballot initiatives fast and furious, and realized this story isn't over. We have to continue to follow it. And so that's what we did.
And you talk about your being drawn to Liz's approach to deal with these things through humor. But I had the pleasure, Nina and I both through New York Women in Film and Television, had the real treat of having Liz appear on a panel, and getting a chance to have drinks with her afterwards is the bonus. And we talked about how to stay vigilant and engaged as a citizen, because I think that's what has surprised a lot of people over this period, is that and it's easy to do. It's a very human thing to take these things for granted. But if you could talk a little bit about Liz's approach to really trying to be this wonderful civic teacher with a tremendous sense of humor.
Well, I think that one of the many things that's so incredible and so special and unique about what she does is she is really good at talking to people about where they are. And so this ended up not being in the film, but the mindset is like many of us had abortions in our younger time, and then we moved on, and then we never, we were like, I got mine, everything's fine. This will work for everyone else. And the overarching theme of all of this is that abortion access is not access unless it's accessible to everyone all the time. And so Liz has a way of, and you see this throughout the film, and the film is very, sort of instructive. If you have an hour a month or, 50 hours a month to volunteer and to engage in the fight, it sort of meets what Abortion Access Front and Liz do is they help to teach and show ordinary people how they can get involved in the fight, and that everyone needs to be involved in the fight. And there's something that anyone can do. So if you're a contractor and you can help somebody fix a fence in a state where somebody won't fix their fence because the abortion clinic provides because the clinic provides abortion and people won't touch that, then that's the thing that you do. If you can do some web design help, if you can write postcards, if you can escort, if you're able to be out on the sidewalk and escort. So I think it's one of those things where their organization does the work, sort of, it's an amalgam of the work that no one else does, sort of bringing comedy, building community through comedy shows, doing clinic escort work. And then Liz as the sort of umbrella to this big scrappy coalition of activists around the country, being very media savvy, being a critic of how the media has portrayed abortion, how they've talked about it, how they've not talked about it, and how they have framed it over decades. And I think that the amalgam of all of those things made Liz and her team, a singular choice for us as filmmakers to follow, because there are many abortion organizations and coalitions, but no one does the work that they do, which is really about bringing joy to the fight, because it's a long haul. And that's what happened over the 7 years that we made the film, and that's what's happening now in the work, the continued work that they do, and the impact campaign that we have around promoting the film leading up to the election and beyond. Because no matter what happens in this next election, this fight is not anywhere close to being over. It's really at the beginning. It's almost sort of in a space where it initiates a time where change can actually be made.
Well, Ruth, you mentioned your impact campaign, and that's a wonderful segue to my next question, which is based on the work that we do at Global Peace Film Festival. We consider ourselves a bit different from most film festivals where the real action happens when the lights come down. For us, our work starts when the lights come up, and people are standing a little taller and saying, what can they do? So could you unpack your impact campaign and tell people a little bit about the work that you are doing with this film?
Sure, and I agree with you. The work does really start when the lights go up, for sure. So we had decided all along that the impact was really deeply embedded in the work. Like, you see it in the work that they do, And a lot of that is mirrored in the work that we do. So we did a little test on June 24th, which we have branded as the Overturn Anniversary, where it was the overturn of Roe 2-year anniversary. And we went and showed the film in 12 different places around the country. And we really got this together very quickly because we were really gearing up towards what we have in the fall. But we decided to do this because we didn't want that day to go by with it being the first anniversary that the film had been completed. And so we wanted to show the people that we are trying to raise funds from and do the impact work for, just how many different ways that we can do this. So we did things like, we did show the film in traditional theaters, a couple of them. One was in Montclair, and Liz went there for a Q&A commemorating the day. But we went to the belly of the beast. We went to Jackson, Mississippi, which is really, when you hear that story, you know, Dorinda and Kim and the Pink House Defenders really are the heart of the story of defending abortion access within our film. And we went to the Pink House, and we went to the club that Liz and Abortion Access Front had performed in during the comedy tour, and we did a screening there. We went to New Orleans to a cafe, and we did a screening there, you know, threw up a screen and a projector and showed the film there, and had people from abortion funds in Louisiana educating the public about what is happening in Louisiana, which is the only state right now that passed the law that the Plan C pill is now deemed a controlled substance. And then we were in Charlotte. We were in 2 places in New Mexico, which is where the lion's share of abortion clinics are now, have now all moved to be from Texas and from Mississippi. So New Mexico has really become a haven for abortion clinics. So they're all over the place. So we did a couple of screenings there to help raise funds for a new abortion fund. We went to I'm trying to think of the other. We went to 12 places around the country, and did this kind of work. We did a drive-in screening in Austin, and worked to raise abortion funds there as well. And we wanted to show in Oklahoma, we did something in a yoga studio. So small and large, we wanted to show that we could really gather community. But one of the most important things that we did was in Tallahassee, Florida, where the Yes for 4 initiative is on the ballot. And that's so important. And that was before all of the signatures were all in order to get it on the ballot. It was really close to that time. And so we worked with a couple of different organizations, the RBG Fund, and a couple of other organizations. The head of Yes for 4 was there, as well as other organizations. And they unpacked what that ballot initiative really is for the audience, and packed a microbrew pub. And from that, we are going to saturate Florida. So that's why this screening with your festival is so important to us, because we want to make sure that people all over Florida really understand how important this is. You know, the signatures happened, and you know, for anyone in the audience who doesn't understand this, they had to get way more signatures than they actually needed, because they throw so many out for a plethora of reasons. And so that was really great. And that was a springboard for doing events with organizations throughout Florida leading up to the election. And that's part of our plan. And we're doing the same thing in the other ballot initiative states, you know, Colorado and Nevada and Arizona. There are 9 There are 9 states that have ballot initiatives. The one for in Arkansas just failed. So that's part of what we're doing. We were fortunate enough to do a screening at the Democratic National Convention at this gigantic art exhibition. I met my lifelong friends, women who have all been working on abortion related projects over the last several years, and we were all part of this exhibition and supporting each other's work, and that was really great. That was really exciting, and Liz was there for a Q&A, and then we went to, right after that, which was like last week, I think, we went to Alabama. We are touring the film in all of the states where abortion is now illegal. And it's really, it's sobering, because you can be in a place like we won an award we won the top award at the Thin Line Festival in Denton, Texas. And you could go there and show the film to an audience that is just really, really sad and despondent and doesn't know what to do. Or you could be, and we have been, in Louisville, Kentucky, we were just at Flyover, and in Birmingham at the Sidewalk, both places where abortion is illegal. But you really feel the energy of the activism, and you really feel the energy and the connection to what happens in the film, and how anyone and everyone can do something. So that's a big part of the messaging. And our team really does consider the impact completely embedded with the distribution. Our impact started the day we premiered our film. And I think that's really important for filmmakers and others to understand, that you can use a film from day one when you premiere your film at a film festival to engage people. At our premiere in New York, we were giving out postcards that people could write to patients, like, "You're doing a good job. This is good for your life. We support you." Because a big part of this is destigmatizing abortion. That's been that narrative has been seeded by the right for a long time, allowing us to not use the word. They use the word. We actually talk about being pro-choice way more than we use the word abortion and talking about the procedure. And I think that's a really important point. So we are going to be doing a rollout of the film theatrically. People can request screenings. We're going to be working with Gather, and we are going to do an award season qualifying run in New York in October. And then we will be streaming on Jolt leading up to the election. Jolt Film is a new platform started to really raise awareness and bring together audiences in places that I would say the film industry has, I don't know, left on the table. So we're really excited about that, because people will be able to see it. And then after the election, we will have an international premiere. We're looking at different festivals. We have not screened outside of the United States yet. We felt really committed to staying here for the first year of the film, because there's a lot of work to be done here.
There is indeed such a lot of work to be done. So when you answer my next question, I also want you to move over a little bit so people can see the tagline of the film on the poster. There you go. That's better. And it's so important in Florida, where the Global Peace Film Festival takes place. Is critical. The Amendment 4 is really critical, and in Florida, an amendment needs 60% to pass, so it's a high threshold. But with support from films like yours, and outreach and impact campaigns throughout the state, hopefully, hopefully it'll pass. So what can people do to support the film? And what's next for you? Obviously, you're really totally engrossed with with getting it out. But is there anything else that you can tell us that's coming up for you?
Well, and people can directly support our impact campaign by going to our website, and it's tax deductible through Film Collaborative, and there's a link on our website, which thank you for having our website on your slides. And so we're committed to seeing this through for at least the next 10 months. So we're going to be working for sure very diligently on the impact campaign. Once we go internationally with the film, there's a really interesting group in the EU that is really galvanizing people around the issue, because I think a lot of people don't understand that, or don't realize that abortion is illegal in many countries, and it's very restricted in many countries. And so I think it's going to be, this is an international global health crisis. It's not just a health crisis in the United States. So I think by locking arms with activists all over the country, I'm sorry, by locking arms with activists all over the world, I think that we're going to start to make a difference, because that is, this is healthcare. It's global healthcare that is being eroded every day. So I feel really committed to staying with the impact on this. And then I'm working on a couple things that, I'm writing on another project, a fiction project, but I'm really interested in helping to be part of the solution of the gaping hole that is film distribution in this country, because I feel like documentary filmmakers and programmers like yourselves, we're doing our job, and and probably all it's a labor of love. It's no one is getting wealthy making this work. We're making work for people in this country and globally where there is a gap in journalism, right? And so I think it's really important that we help to see the change that we need in film distribution. So I'm going to be working on some of that. I think it's really important because there's too many great films out there that are not getting seen. So I think I think in order to really serve the public with this work, that's part of the work that we have to do. It's kind of like we have to show distributors and streamers how to do their job. That sounds really condescending, but I think they need to understand that real people really want to see this. It's so funny too, because I feel like this film was very underfunded. Going to broadcasters and streamers and distributors. Well, why would you use comedy? Well, why would anything happen to Roe? Like, they were just so disconnected from what was really happening. And then you have an audience, there's a complete disconnect. And then you have an audience that says, please bring your film here. We need it, because we need humor as a way to keep going and a way to really make change and enjoy the work. We have to enjoy the work because we're doing the work anyway.
I think that is a very, very good thing to remind us as we wrap up this conversation, that while it is important work, critical work, we need to bring joy to it. We need to remember that it's because of our love of humanity that we do the work. So thank you, Ruth, and thank Liz for us.
I will.
She's tremendous, and she is a gift that keeps on giving, and we're so glad to be able to share this 7-year journey of hers and inspire people going forward.
Thank you so much for having me and including me in the Global Peace Film Festival. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who listened to today's conversation. And if you would like, as Ruth had mentioned, if you would like to support this very important work that they're doing in terms of their impact campaign, please consider going to nooneaskedyou.com. Again, that's nooneaskedyou.com. And go there and see how you can plug in and make that positive change happen. And if you want to see Ruth's wonderful film at the Global Peace Film Festival, please go to peacefilmfest.org to find out all the information about ticketing, venues, and all of our events. Again, our in-person programming begins September 17th, ends on September 22nd. Our virtual programming begins September 23rd and ends on the 29th. Thank you so much, and we will see you at the next Glow.